another cog in the murder machine. They said I'm sweet to scare the living shit out of me.
Hey guys, part 3 of Black Panther deku. So yeah, if you didn't watch the last one, go do if you want to be catched up. But yeah, pretty much we're going to the first day of UA. Izuku is just walking and he's pretty chill. He's a little freaked, but he knows he'll be okay. And if anything goes wrong, say he needs help with anything, he has Wakanda right beside him. You see, before he went to school that day, he made sure that he visit Wakanda and made sure that he has an intercom with them always, so he doesn't get in trouble or anything. Izuku hides his necklace under his uniform and just gets going. Izuku walks in and he looks around a little bit because he was supposed to meet up with Kaminari, but he doesn't see him, so he just walks off trying to find 1A. And Izuku is just amazed of how big UA is. He just walks around saying, wow, that's humongous. He notices that the doors are big too. And finally, when he gets to UA, or Class 1A, he sees the door and says, it's like everyone else's. He slides open the door and walks in. And he hears yelling, and he says, oh god, no. He walks in, and that's when he sees it's Bakugo. He says, oh god. He tried to walk by quietly, but that's when a boy with glasses said, you, what's your name? And he says, Izuku Midoriya. And Bakugo looks over and just in disgust. He says, oh, okay. And Izuku sits down near a window and just sits. And he doesn't really pay attention to anyone. He just sits down and waits for Kaminari. Finally, Kaminari comes in class and says, oh, hey, Midoriya. He says, hello, Kaminari. You're supposed to meet up with me? And he says, oh, yeah, I kind of got late. I kind of slept in a little. He says, it's okay. Just sits, I guess, somewhere. I don't know if our teacher has a sign or not, so... Sorry. But now it's that time, so yeah. Anyways, let's continue. I have a lot of energy, so yeah. But like I was saying, all of a sudden, Ozawa comes out from under his desk and says, "Hello, class." I'm just saying Ozawa because we already know who Ozawa is. So yeah, hello, class. I was just goosebumps. Hold up. But yeah, Ozawa says, hello, I'll be your homeroom teacher, and yeah, introduce yourself and tell them what your quirks are, and then wake me up so we could go to, and so I could tell you what we're doing next. Everyone said hi, Sensei, and he just went back to sleep. But yeah, first person that goes was Asui. She explains, hello, I'm Sue Asui, quirk frog, and explains what it does. Everyone goes by one. Kaminari. I'm Dinky Kaminari. Quirk, electricity. Pretty much good. Send out an output of electricity. Gatsuki Bakugo. Quirk, explosion. Obviously, I can make explosions, and everyone goes on. Finally, Izuku goes up and says, Izuku Midoriya. Quirk, panther. And everyone's okay with it. And yeah. And pretty much he explains how it enhances everything: speed, strength, intelligence, awareness, agility, everything pretty much. And everyone's a little shocked for after he said that, because everyone really just thinks that it was just like he was able to have abilities as a panther, but I guess not, you know. So yeah, and after that, Izuku woke up Ozawa. Izuku woke up Ozawa, and Ozawa said, oh, okay, change into your gym clothes and meet me outside. And that's when the boy with glasses said, wait, what about orientation? He says, I'm your homeroom teacher, we don't have to do that. Also, what's your name, kid? He says, Tenya Ida. He says, okay, Ida, just lead everyone, would you? I'll be outside. Izawa opens the window and just jumps out pretty much. Because Izawa's the boss. Bye. Anyways, but yeah. Everyone starts going and obviously goes into their separate rooms to change. But they're right beside each other like in the show and everything. So yeah. And yeah. And Izuku starts getting changed and everyone notices that Izuku's really muscular. You see, Izuku looks like this, right? Without a shirt. So yeah. And Kaminari says, "Holy crap, I didn't even notice you were that muscular, dude." Yeah. You see, I just started working out before I worked out for the 10 months. He says, "Oh, well, good job for you, man." He says, "Thanks." Bakugo just scoffs at it. And Izuku was about to leave, and then that's when they heard it. Hold on. Okay, that's when he heard it. All the boys heard it. Mineta said, "Guys, I found a peeping hole." Everyone looked at him in disgust, but some were just blushing a little bit. And he said, and Mineta just started being a pervert. He started talking about like he could see the girl's breast or their just anything about their body, right? And Midoriya walked up towards Mineta, and grabbed his shoulder. And he said, "No, be respectful to women. Do you understand?" And Midoriya is reasonable with Mineta. He isn't going to yell at him. Just wants Mineta just to be reasonable about this. And Mineta says, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. Thanks." And this will actually change Mineta for the story, because in the story, I want Mineta to be a good character because I want Midoriya, Mineta, and Kaminari to hang out more. So yeah, I don't want Mineta just always being a little pervert. I mean, Mineta is a good character. I like him. Sometimes I'll just be disturbed, but I like him. But anyways, let's continue. And that's when we go to the girls' side. And in the girls' side, we see Jiro kind of holding her body and saying, "Ugh, thank God." All the girls ask, "What happened, Jiro?" He says, "Well, I don't think it'll be a problem anymore, but you know that kid Mineta?" And they said, "Yeah." "Well, he was trying to peep on us," and everyone said, "Ew, no." But I guess, who is he? Midoriya, I think? I don't know. But someone told him to think about it and they should respect us. It was nice. I don't know. And they said, "Thank God." And after about 2 minutes, everyone's finally outside. Midoriya's just been waiting out there stretching. And Ozawa says, "Great. Okay, well, we're going to be doing tests to see, and you could use your quirk during these." He tosses it towards Bakugo. He says, "Bakugo, here. What was your score when you threw it the first time?" He said, Bakugo said, probably 76 or something without my quirk." He said, "Okay, use your quirk. Full power. Just don't hurt yourself, please." So it backs up, and he says, "Oh, okay." He launches it, and he finally says, "Well, he shows the class, and it's 776. Everyone's in shock and impressed. And that's when he says, "We'll be doing tests, and yeah. The last place won't be expelled, but we'll have extra homework for, let's say, a month." Everyone says, "Oh, okay." And they all took it on as a challenge, and Azawa says, "Good." And you see, in this universe, Azawa is still the same, but he's liking the kids a lot more faster than he did with the first few episodes. So yeah, and we continue on. People go through. We see everyone throw it, and finally, let's say after 5 people, including Bakugo in that 5, it was Midoriya's turn. Midoriya got the ball, and everyone just watched him. They watched him stretch for a second, and then Bakugo said, "Come on, Deku, are you going to throw it yet? Huh?" And Midoriya looked at him with this little death stare and said, "Okay." and he gets into a stance and throws it with half of his strength, because he hasn't unlocked all of his strength, so I should say actually full strength. And it was a shock wave. And Ozawa says, "Huh, not bad, Midoriya." And he shows the class 2010. He says, "Huh, not bad, Midoriya." And everyone's in shock. And they kept going. They did agility, everything. And Midoriya got mostly second or third, even first on some of them. He didn't. And what I mean by like second or third, like say, you know how Mineta would, like with the side to side thing, where like you had to jump side to side. I don't know what it was really called, but yeah, Mineta got first on that, because I don't think anyone could have really done that except for Bakugo. But Bakugo would really have to use that his quirk really quickly. So I'm guessing he had the rapid ability instantly, or when he was training with it. Sorry, I'm rambling about MHA, but yeah. But Midoriya didn't get first in that. He got, let's say, third. Agility, he got second towards Kazumita and stuff like that. And, excuse me. And yeah. And that's when, hiccups. But yeah. And that's when we go to them at the, let's say, at the very end. Right? Them at the very end, and he says, well, person in last was Mineta. Kid, you will be having homework for the next month. Extra homework for the next month. Mineta says, oh man. And Midoriya grabs his shoulder and said, no worries, man, I gotcha. And as always said, if you help him, I'll make sure you get extra homework too then. And Izuku looked at him and said, okay. I mean, I don't care. And Izawa said, huh, okay then. And he says, also, hopefully everyone has their bags packed, because today you will be moving into the dorms if you didn't know. And everyone said, oh yeah. Kaminari said, yeah. And Izawa said, if you didn't, Jesus, kids. If you didn't, we could contact your parents real quick and tell them to pack up your stuff. Or you could head home and quickly pack up. And everyone said, oh, okay. Some people had to some people had forgot some stuff, so they had to. And yeah. And let's say they all start going in. And I should say 1A and 1B are connected. So yeah. And this is when we meet 1B. Class 1A finally walked into dorms, and 1B is just sitting on the couch or is just in the kitchen. And they've all introduced each other. Monoma. Jesus, dude, I'm going to stop the series real quick. Dude, I just want to talk about Monoma. Monoma has one of the most coolest quirks ever, but one of the worst personalities. So yeah. And I'm just saying, I wonder if Monoma, you know how if there's a dull quirk that, like, say if he copied Midoriya's, remember? It was a dull one though. I wonder if he copied Shigaraki's, would it be dull? You know what I mean? Or, because he obviously can't copy Erie's, and Erie's is a mutation. And Midoriya's, I don't think you'd call it mutation. It's just like giving him abilities. So that's what I mean with Shigaraki, you know. And if you guys want to discuss with me, because I kind of want to have like a little talk with you guys about this, you know, because I feel like it would be interesting to think about if Monoma could copy Shigaraki's quirk, you know. But anyways, back to story. And Monoma just started instantly harassing them. Izuku wasn't listening to them. He just introduced himself and picked a room. He picked his room and started setting up clothes. There's all their essentials was there, because they had kind of had a design. So let me show you an image of what Minori's room will look like. Give me a second. Okay, I'm not saving this image, but he has like a little, I guess you could say, bar set up in his room, right? A bar set up with a black bed. In one of his walls, he started already, because in this reality, I want to make Izuku kind of an artist, though, in a way. In this reality, he started already making a little painting on his wall. It's the tree that he saw when he's connected between the afterlife and his world. It's the tree that he sees when he talks to the other panthers. So yeah. And fun fact, if you didn't know about Black Panther, Black Panther made a god scared of him. So yeah, if you're wondering who that is, it's the god of whoever. It's like the god of moon or something. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, look at it's like an issue of Moon Knight, like kind of taking over the world in a way. So yeah. Anyways, back to the story, and Zuko just started a little bit, kind of doing a design. And that's when he hears a knock on his door. He looks, he goes to open it, and it's Kaminari. He says, "Hey dude, what's up?" And he says, "Oh, hey Kaminari." And Kaminari says, "Wow, your room looks amazing, dude." He says, "Really?" I didn't think it was that great. I mean, all I have is my computer set up, my bed, my little bar, I guess. I didn't really think they were gonna make my drinking area really that big." And he says, "Wait, you drink, my guy?" He says, "Well, not drink. It's like I'm gonna keep like energy drinks, stuff like that, you know. I kind of play games, not all the time. I do a lot of research, and yeah. Also, my room will be off bounds if you try to enter it. Understand?" He says, "Yeah." And they just talk in pretty much in the hallway, and people hear the conversation, laughed at it because they were being dumb. Some people just ignore them, and some people just are a little rude about it. But it's the reality in their world too. But after a little bit, Mizuki says, "I'm a little hungry. You want me to make you something, Kaminari?" He says, "Sure. What are you thinking?" He says, "Thinking about maybe a sandwich or something. Probably a BLT." And he says, "Yeah, sure." And Izuku starts talking through the hallway with him and saying how I heard that they had a big food pantry, so they should have bacon, hopefully. If not, we could probably improvise with ham or something. And he says, "Yeah, but..." And Kaminari kind of comes up with a funny idea and says, "But wouldn't it be hold on. Wouldn't it be an HLT though?" He says, "Yeah, I guess it would be, huh?" And yeah. And they laugh about it, and Izuku just goes and starts making him and Kaminari a BLT. And Izuku isn't a good cook. He just knows the basics from his mother, and a little bit from Wakanda. And Izuku wants to make stuff from Wakanda to here so they could get introduced to it. And yeah. And Izuku just makes it, and everyone smells it a little bit. Some people are hungry now. Some people just say, "Ooh, there's a good chef in here now." And people didn't smell it. Falling down. But yeah. And after he was done, Izuku cleans up his dish and says, "Here you go, Here you go, Kaminari. Enjoy it, man." And he says, Thanks, Midoriya." He says, "No worries. And also, you call me Izuku. You don't have to call me Midoriya." He says, "Are you sure?" He says, "Yeah, okay. Well, thanks, man." He says, "Yeah, no worries." And Mineta kind of just is looking from afar, and Midoriya notices and said, "Hey, Mineta, come join us." He says, and Mineta wanted to walk away. He was trying to walk. Mineta kind of freaked out and just tried to walk away. And Midoriya kind of just went over there quickly without anyone noticing. He says, "Come on, man. Don't think about what I said earlier. I mean, obviously, but not right now. Come on, hang out with me and Kaminari. We could have some fun." And Mineta smiles and says, "Thanks, Midoriya." He says, "No, of course." And they all just kind of hang around, eat a little bit, and yeah. And let's say about 2 hours later, everyone's kind of just hanging out in the same room. And Zawa comes in with Vladikine and says, "Okay, classes, we will be doing, since today was your first day, tomorrow will be obviously an actual school day, I guess you could say. But tomorrow we'll be doing training together. So, please get along with each other, and obviously, and if we will be feeding you. If you want to make something for yourself tonight or order something, please go ahead, but we have chefs if you ever are hungry and you don't know how to cook. So yeah, please tell our chefs, nothing complicated, but yeah. And they both left, and Midoriya said, well, okay. And he just walks off. Kaminari says, where are you going? He says, oh, I'm just going to my room. I got stuff to do. Please no one enter. If I'm not there, just don't worry about that. And everyone's confused. If you're not there, why wouldn't you be there? Right. And he says, just don't worry about it. And he walks in and locks his room. He makes sure no one's coming, and that's when he throws it. He throws the disc down and teleports. Says, oh, Wakanda, it's good to be back. Everyone says, Your Majesty. And obviously crosses their arms, and he says, you're good. He says, at ease, pretty much, right? Or whatever. And he just talks to them and tells them how his day was. He talks to the people, obviously, and tells them how his day was. And he just kind of talks to everyone, really. He goes out for about an hour or two. And he says, well, I should probably get him back. You know, my friends probably are worried about me. And he said, yeah, true. And they let him go. When Midoriya got back, he looked to check his door, and he noticed his door was someone unlocked his door. He got scared for a second. He said, oh no, someone might have figured it out. He walked out of his room, and that's when he sees Kaminari, just right beside his door. He says, so, Midoriya, where were you? He says, Kaminari, how long have you been over there for? Just since, you vanished. I mean, I don't think the window was open, was it? When I entered after you vanished. So, you want to tell me, bud? Says, Kaminari, get in here. He closes the door and locks it and makes sure it's soundproof. And he says, Kaminari, what did you hear after I vanished? He says, well, before I heard you vanish, I heard something hit the ground, and a weird woof kind of sound, He says, uh-huh. Then what did you hear when I appeared out of nowhere, I guess? And he says, well, I heard something hit the ground, and I heard a woof again. So, want to explain? Right? And Kaminari's kind of just up in his face. He says, okay, if I tell you, you gotta keep it a secret. You can't tell anyone. You understand? If I ever do, if I swear to God, if you tell anyone, I will kill you myself. Got it? He says, okay. And he says, well, hold on. Let me see if I'm okay. Let me see if I am able to. And he says, what do you mean? He says, what do you mean? And that's when Midoriya just starts talking, or is quiet, and he's talking to the Panthers. He's talking to Chala, Shiri, Oka, Randa, and Rafiki. And all of them gave him the permission to. He says, okay, well, I'm able to tell you. Here, I got a lot to tell you, so just sit down, relax, and let's begin. He says, okay. And he tells him what happened. And at the end of it, he says, wait, let me get this straight. You're a Keen? What? How is that fair? He says, really? That's all you had? That's all you just had to say? He says, yes, that's all I had to say. How's that fair? Wait, what? Right, and he's just freaking out about it, because his only friend here pretty much is just a Keen, I guess. And he says, yes, now shut up and don't tell anyone, right? He says, yes, your majesty. He says, oh my god. And he hits Kaminari hard on the head and says, you say that in public, I'm hitting you. Got it? He says, yeah, whatever. Well, it's getting late. I'm gonna head to bed. He says, I'm gonna do some research. He says, okay, see ya, kid. He says, sorry, I always say see you, kid, to people, or hey, kid, right? When I talk to people, I don't know why. I don't know if it's disrespectful, But I mean, it's just a thing I started doing. So yeah. He says, well, see you, Midoriya. He says, call me Izuku. So yeah. But anyways, yeah. And Midoriya just stays up a little bit longer and finally goes to bed. Now we go to the second day. Everyone's just waking up. Midoriya's a little what? Midoriya's been awake for a little while. He's done his workout. Jesus. But yeah, he's done his workout and he's making breakfast for Kaminari, him, and Mineta. Because he wants Mineta to get more used to them. So he made a little bacon, eggs, stuff like that. And everyone woke up and said, "Ooh, is that for us or what?" He says, "Oh, sorry, no, I can make you some if you want." And they said, "Oh, no, it's okay." He says, "You sure?" And he says, "Yeah." Some people actually said, "Yeah, sure." So he makes some plates, and yeah. Eventually, he just made it for everyone. Everyone comes down, and Midoriya is just ready to go. And he just sat down and says, "Kaminari, I'll be in class. If you ever need me, text me. Got it?" He says, yeah. And yeah. A little bit while goes by, and finally the class, pretty much everyone meets up, right? And Azawa explains how with other classes work, so yeah. And after he talked about that, they finally went to go get their hero. Ozawa says, well, there will be 4 teachers with us. Me, Vladkin, and 2 others. Special guest. Who is coming with Vladkin will be Midnight. Some of the boys got a little happy. Like, they're like, ooh, Midnight, right? Some said, ooh, a sexy hero and stuff. Mineta's just trying to keep calm and just said, nope, it's okay. And he says, well, with us, and all of a sudden you hear big stomps. And Izuku knows where this is going. He covers his ears. And Kaminari says, what's wrong with you? And he says, you'll see. And all of a sudden, the door slams open and says, and you hear, I am here. Everyone looks and it's All Might. Kaminari notices why he covered his ears. He says, yeah, that's pretty loud. He says, yeah, I know. So yeah. And he says, you will be getting your hero costume so we could train together. And everyone's excited. And yeah. And pretty much everyone starts grabbing theirs and gets dressed. And everyone gets out. And everyone's already has their hero costumes, class 1B and everything. And Izuku's the last one. And they notice Izuku's kind of is just in his uniform still. And Ozawa says, where's your uniform? He says, oh yeah, sorry. And that's when everyone notices Izuku's necklace. And he says, yeah, sorry about that. And he just crosses his arms, and all of a sudden, it activated. The suit starts covering him from the chest upwards and downwards. They just see this suit cover him fully. And after it fully covered him, it glowed purple. And everyone was in shock how good his suit looked. And All Might said, good job. Your suit looks amazing, young Midoriya. He says, thank you, All Might. And yeah. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find a good photo. We're just gonna use this one. Rest in peace, King. But yeah. And they just talk. Well, All Might and everyone else just explains what's gonna happen. They will be doing they will be working together, going against each other, and so on and so forth. And the first one is working against each other. And it's just randomized teams, so they might be together with friends or people they barely talk to. Midoriya was partnered up with Asui, and let's say Pony, right? And he says, hello guys. And they said, hello, Midoriya. And on the other end, they're going against, let's say, Kirishima, Tetsu, and Tetsu. Let's say Monoma. yeah. And they get ready to go. And Monoma touches Kirishima and Tetsu to get both of their hardening abilities. And yeah. And pretty much Kirishima tells Monoma and Tetsu what his classmates' quirks are. And they said, interesting, okay. And yeah. And All Might says, well, the only way you could win this is knocking them out. Not hurting them, please don't kill them, but knocking them out of the arena. And the arena's like has some buildings, and yeah, knocking them out of the arena or capturing them with the hero tape. So yeah, and All Might yells, "Go!" And they all start going. Midoriya and his team, Midoriya already made up a plan for them. He would go after Kirishima, Sue would go after Monoma, since he can't copy mutations, and Pony would go after Tetsu. Yeah. And that's how the plan goes, pretty much. Izuku sneaks up on Kirishima and does good hits. And everyone notices that Izuku is a martial artist. He knows how to fight. And All Might is in shock that he is a good fighter. And Izawa is too. He says, wow, I could even learn from this kid. And they just see Kirishima kind of getting barraged or hit after hit with this. And Izuku's you can't really tell if Izuku's sweating. And Izuku just stops hitting him and says, you want me to just put tape on you, or do you want me to knock you out? He says, what's the fun out of that? And Kirishima goes hardening again, and it hits. And actually hits him pretty well, sending him back a little. And that's when he notices Tetsu's also here. That means Pony's around, or she got knocked out. So he said, okay, Tetsu, where's my teammate? If I may ask. And he said, oh, Pony? I knocked her out. He says, oh, okay. And that's when you see Sue coming in to help too. And he asks, so, how'd Monoma go? She said, I never found him. And that's when you hear a big bang from behind them. It's Monoma with the steel and the rock hardening. And they're combined, so it's going to be a tough battle to hit him. He says, okay, Sue, who do you want? She said, I don't know. You made the plan? You tell me what we got. He says, okay. Let's see what my suit could do. And she says, wait, what do you mean? And all of a sudden, the suit just starts turning purple. Or the lines between it start turning purple. And everyone notices this. And he says, what is this, young Midoriya? All Might saying in his head, what is this? And that's when Midoriya just says, I got those two, you get Monoma, like plan. And she says, okay. And all of a sudden, between us, he puts out his hands and starts walking. And all of a sudden, he clenches his fist and daggers came out of just between his fingers. He throws it at Kirishima and Tetsu, hitting their legs, knocking them down. And that's when Izuku just started hitting them over and over, switching between them, jumping between them both. And Suyu just made pretty easy work out of Monoma, because Monoma just had hardening work, so it was pretty easy for her to kind of just wrap around and throw him out. So yeah. But anyways, everyone just pays attention mostly to Izuku. So yeah. And Izuku tapes up Kirishima and says, well, you had enough, but Tetsu, I gotta still beat. And Tetsu is sweating. He says, okay, let's go then. And he charges at Midoriya. Midoriya dodges, trips him, and just puts tape on him and says, well, we should win, I think. And All Might says, Team A has won. Team B has lose. Team A's Victor. And everyone cheers a little bit. Team B is pretty pissed off, except for Kirishima. Kirishima's pretty happy, like usual. So yeah. But, Monoma, yeah. But, yeah. And after they were done, when they walked off, everyone's bombarding Midoriya and asking, "What is that suit about? What is made out of and stuff?" Even All Might's wondering. Says, it's a secret, I guess. Can't tell you. And everyone's kind of getting in a pout. And Baku is pissed. Everyone's just surrounding this worthless person. He's thinking, says, "Damn it, Deku, you're not better than me no matter what." And he doesn't say this out loud. He just walks onto the platform because it was his battle next. And yeah, everyone goes on and everything. I'm not doing the they work together because meh. But yeah. And after that, Azawa says, "Well, that's the end of class for the day. You may head to the dorms, spend time, and yeah. Tomorrow we'll be just doing regular classes. So yeah. Make sure you get your clothes washed and your suits, I guess." And he walks off. And everyone starts walking back, but Midoriya just changes into gym clothes or into workout clothes and starts heading towards the gym that's local towards them. And Kirishima says, "Where are you going?" He says, "Oh, I'm not heading back to dorms. I'm going to work out." And he grabs a bag and just starts going. And Kirishima says, "Hey, wait for me. Let me join you." And he grabs his stuff too. Some of the girls go because they want to see Midoriya work out. And just also kind of want to break up sweat. Mostly everyone goes with Midoriya to see what his workout routine is like. So yeah. Except for Bakugo. Bakugo heads back. Monoma does. Some people do. So yeah. And mostly everyone's there. And that's when we just see some second years there too. Second years and even some third years. They just see the first years. And some of the second years second and third think that they're still better than them. So some try to pick on them. And the first years are kind of a little self-aware about this. And when they tried with Midoriya, they stopped pretty quickly. Midoriya didn't really realize it. Because the first thing he did was just a few warm-ups, some push-ups and stuff. So they didn't really think of anything. And that's when he started lifting his weights. He was doing 200s, 300, stuff like that. Bench press, let's say 500. And everyone's just in shock. And the thing that kind of scared some of the second years and third years is when he went to a punching bag, he started punching it hard as hell. He was making the punching bag rip holes in it from the inside and out. And they were scared a little bit. And they just stopped picking on the first years. And yeah, everyone just notices and everyone just watches his workout routine. And Midoriya didn't even notice really anyone because he just has his music in and just is going at it. And at the end of it, Midoriya is just a little bit sweaty. He says, "Well, I'm done." And he notices that mostly everyone followed him. And he says, "Oh, hey guys, I didn't even notice. I thought it was just Kaminari. Well, I'm gonna head out if anyone needs me." And yeah. Hold on. But yeah. He finally heads back, eats, and just kind of goes to bed. He doesn't really visit Wakanda until a few days later. But nothing really goes on. And if you watched the last part, only 95 of you did, but if you watched the last part, there was a girl that I said. The boy was Kaminari, but there's a girl. And your option, and I want to make it someone, but I want you guys to choose like I used to do. But yeah, so here's your options. Toga, right? Toga, Kendo, or a girl from 1A. I'm guessing Mina or whatever, but I don't care. You guys get to choose, and yeah. I'm ending here because I am tired and it is 1. So yeah. See you guys. Good night.